Good morning. Back with our classes on carbon and its compound. Today we will study properties of covalent bond. Please write along. That is properties of covalent bond. 2 marks question in bold. Properties of covalent bond. Fine. So we have studied properties of ionic bond. We have said that ionic bonds are generally solids because they are held together by strong electrostatic force of attraction. Here, covalent bonds, please write the first point. They are generally or they are usually, first point, they are usually liquids or gases. They are usually liquids or gases and few solids because the intermolecular force of attraction is very less, because the intermolecular force of attraction is very less. So I am writing here only the difference. Ionic bonds are generally what? Solids. Why are they solids? Because they have high electrostatic force of attraction between them. Next point. They have low melting and boiling point. They have low melting and boiling point because less energy is required, to break the intermolecular forces of attraction. Believe they have what? High melting and boiling point. As high amount of energy is required to break the intermolecular force of attraction. Next point. They are soluble in organic solvent. They are soluble in organic solvents. Like, what are organic solvents? Benzene, petrol, alcohol, but are insoluble in water. Besides, they are soluble in water, or they are soluble in water and other polar solvents. But are insoluble in organic solvents. Okay, next point for it. They are poor conductors of electricity. They are poor conductors of electricity as no ions are formed. Because they are bond formed by sharing of electrons. Because they are bonds formed by sharing electrons. Clear property? So this side you will write what? They are good conductors of electricity. They are good conductors of electricity in aqueous and molten state. Because they do not conduct electricity in solid state. As in solid state, there is no movement of ions. Okay? Example, both sides. So now, as you have written properties of covalent compound first, after that write difference between covalent compound and ionic compounds. Difference between ionic bond and covalent bond in the covalent compounds and ionic compounds. Covalent compounds and ionic compounds. First point, you have to write that ionic compounds are formed by transfer of electron and covalent compounds are formed by sharing of electrons. First point, change ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ಬಿಡಿ, ಆಮೇಲೆ continue with the same. Ionic compounds are formed by transfer of electrons and covalent compounds are formed by sharing of electrons. And after that, we will continue with the same points. So first, second, third, fourth, 5 points. Okay? Pause it, finish it, write it. The first point on both the sides should be that covalent compounds are formed by sharing of electrons and ionic compounds are formed by transfer of electron. The last point in this series should be the example. So examples of covalent bond, you can write O2, N2, CH4, H2O. On to the other side of ionic compounds, we will write CaO, NaCl, MgO, AlCl3. They are all examples of what? Ionic bonds. So this is all about bonding, which is, if you remember ionic bond, we wrote it in 3 steps. Formation of cation, formation of anion, and then joining together. Okay? In covalent compounds, you directly draw the bonding and say that sharing of electrons. Every year, I teach it much later. Okay? But this year, because of COVID and all these online classes, we have come early to this chapter. If you forget in January, I'll still be here and reteach. But I would still expect, as these are recorded classes, you will have a lot of time to see at home. Okay? So please make sure to go through these classes and understand it once, because if you're going to take science, this forms the basis of chemistry. Bonding is basis of chemistry because elements bond together to form new compounds. Now write first question. One more question there. Please write. Why covalent bonds do not conduct electricity? Why covalent compounds or covalent bonded compounds do not conduct electricity? Or the same question can be asked as, why covalent compounds are poor conductors of electricity? Why covalent compounds are poor conductors of electricity? Why covalent compounds are poor conductors of electricity? Grammatically, if it is wrong, put that R front or back. Why are covalent compounds poor conductors of electricity? Grammatically, the sentence doesn't appear good. Please write. Covalent compounds are formed by sharing of electrons. Covalent compounds are formed by sharing of electrons. electricity. Hence, they do not conduct electricity. Next point, please write, or next question, please write. Why covalent compounds have low melting and boiling point? Why covalent compounds have low melting and boiling point? Please write, covalent bonded molecules have strong bonds within the molecule. Covalently bonded molecules have strong bonds within the molecule, but intermolecular forces are small. Hence, they have low melting and boiling point. ಬರ್ಸಿರೋದು ಈಗ in simple forms. See, when oxygen bonds to oxygen, it has a very strong bond because these bonds are formed by what? Sharing of electrons, isn't it? So what are we trying to tell here is, if this one oxygen is bonded to other oxygen by double bonds, they are very strong within the molecule. But ಇನ್ನೊಂದು oxygen na ಪಕ್ಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಕರೆಯಲ್ಲ, because it is already very strongly bonded. It doesn't want to pull or call or pair with another oxygen. So they are very strong within the molecule, but the intermolecular bonding is very, very less. Once if I am friendly to someone, okay, then I will not try to go and make friends with many people, because in a class of 5 or 6 or 50, you will be very friendly and do all your secrets with only 2 or 3 people in a gang. You may be a gang of 10 people, but you will share liking only with 2 or 3 people. So same way, oxygen shares its electron with another oxygen, and then it is a pakka bond. But third oxygen, it is not bothered. Understood? So what happens? There is no intermolecular force of attraction. As a result of it, only a bond required to break is this, for which low energy is required, and hence it can easily have low melting point and boiling point. Okay? So this is all about covalent bonding. Now please write, what is allotropy? What is allotropy? A-L-L-O-T-R-O-P-Y, allotropy. Please write, the phenomena by which an element exists in more than one form. The phenomena by which an element exists in more than one form in nature, with different physical properties, but almost the same chemical property, is called allotropy. Is called allotropy. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಿತ್ತಾ? ಮತ್ತೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. Any substance which exists in the same chemical property but different physical properties. Compounds or elements, sorry, no, we should not say compounds, we should say elements. Elements which have similar physical properties, sorry, similar chemical properties but different physical properties are called allotropes to each other, and the phenomena is called as allotropy. Correct? So now we have to study, because we are studying carbon, we have to study the 3 allotropes of carbon. Okay? So any other element you know which exists allotropy? There is carbon, there is phosphorus, there is sulfur. So write examples. Examples of allotropy. Which all elements show allotropy? Right. Carbon, phosphorus and sulfur exhibit allotropy. Now right after that, allotropes of carbon. allotropes, allotropes of carbon. You know the 2 allotropes of carbon. How does carbon exist? Carbon exists as diamond. It also exists as graphite. And it also exists as Buckminster fullerene. It is called C60. Please write. The 3 allotropes of carbon are diamond, graphite and Buckminster fullerene. The 3 allotropes of carbon are diamond, graphite and Buckminster fullerene, C60. Correct? Now I have to give you difference between diamond and graphite. Generally this part was not asked now till last year, because you I think studied 8th also, difference between diamond and graphite and all that. So generally this part used to be not asked. But as your 3/4 of the syllabus is cut from where all questions used to come, so we will have to play importance this year to even difference between diamond and graphite. Okay, after this diamond and graphite part, not one small topic is left, which is called as the versatile nature of carbon. 2 points. After that, I don't want to continue with this chapter, because we will wait and see how much other schools teach. Clarity illa tumba. It says still homologous series, but nomenclature is cancelled. So we will do it very slowly till how much ever I think is important. In the end, when we have done with everything, we will again come back to this chapter and I will teach which has been deleted. Because if you don't know that, you will fail in first year science, chemistry. Okay, so finally you will pass now after that. So not to everyone we will teach. People who really are interested, I will have these classes recorded, but not now. That is after we finish everything, a little of revision, and then we will go back. By that time, the schools also will come up to this chapter, and we will see how much is being taught. Because otherwise, I'll have to call somebody from Excel and find out, because those people have finished this chapter. Okay, so ಈಗ ನಾವು ಓದಬೇಕೇನಂದ್ರೆ, how are these 3 allotropes? All these are made up of what? Carbon. So their chemical properties is same, but their arrangement of atoms differ. So their physical properties are different. You know, diamond shines, graphite does not. Diamond does not conduct electricity, but graphite conducts electricity. Metals and non-metals I have made you write there also what is allotropy anta. Okay. So open your textbook to page number 61. Open your textbook to page number 61. Find that block, golden blocks is what we are studying now, that allotropes of carbon. The element carbon occurs in different forms in nature with widely ranging physical properties. Both diamond and graphite are formed by carbon atom, but difference lies in the manner in which carbon atoms are bonded to one another. It is very important as to why graphite conducts electricity but diamond does not. This happens because in diamond, the carbon atom is connected to 4 other carbon atoms. Carbon valence is 4, but it is completely packed. Each carbon is then connected to 4 other carbon atoms. So no bond is free. L1 carbon, L1 carbon, L1 carbon. So no bond is free. This carbon again gets connected to 4 more. Understood? So in diamond, each carbon, suppose this is our main carbon, this carbon is connected to 4 other carbon atoms. So no bonds or no electrons are free, and hence diamond does not conduct electricity. Whereas in graphite what happens is each carbon is connected only to 3 other carbon atoms. As a result of it, this bond is what? Free. And when this bond is free, there are free electrons. And due to the movement of these free electrons, graphite can conduct electricity. Clear? In diamond, each carbon atom is connected to 4 other carbon atoms. So all 4 bonds of carbon gets satisfied. So there is no free electron, and hence they do not conduct electricity. Whereas in graphite, each carbon is connected only to 3 other carbon, and hence one bond is free, and this bond is the main reason for conduction of electricity. In graphite, each carbon atom is bonded to 3 other carbon atoms in the same plane, giving a hexagonal array. One of these bonds is a double bond, and the graphite structure is formed by hexagonal arrays being placed in layers one above the other. These 2 different structures result in diamond and graphite having different physical properties, even though their chemical properties are same. Diamond, underline it, is the hardest substance known. Diamond is the hardest substance known, whereas graphite is smooth and slippery. It is a very good conductor of electricity, unlike other nonmetals that you studied in the previous chapter. Diamonds can be synthesized by subjecting pure carbon to very high pressure and temperature. These synthetic diamonds are small but are otherwise indistinguishable from natural diamonds. If you really look into the Chinese, which we are not supposed to look after the Wuhan virus or the coronavirus, but the Chinese, what they do is they actually make diamond, artificial diamonds, through the polluted gas. You know, no, we have a lot of carbon dioxide and carbon monoxide coming out. They have a process in place where they take these carbon, actually diamond and graphite are nothing but carbon. So diamond is synthesized by artificial method by putting carbon under high pressure. So same way that carbon dioxide, say they take out carbon and then they put them at very high pressure and they synthesize artificial diamond. Okay. ನಮ್ದು ಹಂಗೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಆ ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ರಿನೇ ಕದ್ದು ಬಿಡ್ತೀವಿ ನಾವು, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಡೈಮಂಡ್ ಅಂದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ಮೇಲೆ ದೇ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಲಾಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಕ್ರೇಜ್, ರೈಟ್? Fullerenes form another class of carbon allotropes. The first one to be identified was C60, which has a carbon atoms arranged in the shape of a football. Since this looked like the goddessy dome designed by US architect Buckminster Fuller, the compound is named as fullerene. It looks like football. It was exactly similar to something which architect Buckminster Fuller made. So it is called as what? Fullerene, C60. So diamond, graphite and fullerene are the 3 allotropes of carbon. We have to study difference between diamond and graphite, which I will send it in notes today. Then we will have a very little left, which will continue next week. Okay? Read and be prepared. Thank you.